You kind of always have hopes and dreams for your kid, and then all of a sudden you get thrown a curveball. You don't really know what is coming or what's around the corner.
Welcome home, you guys. Woo!
When Oliver was born, his eyes were wide open and there was no sound. He didn't cry. We were working on nursing and he would get so upset he would turn almost blue. It's kind of like he was having to hold his breath. We would call the nurses and then naturally by the time they showed up, he would be fine. We didn't really quite know anything at that point was really wrong. They woke me up about 2 a.m. and said, we're gonna take him to the NICU. He needs to be put on some oxygen, and they gave us the diagnosis of vocal cord paralysis.
Our whole world was flipped upside down. From there, it was like he got the trach. Then about a couple weeks after he got the trach, he got his G-tube, which was very emotional because 2 surgeries, like, about 3-4 weeks apart. Didn't really expect that with our new baby. And then I called the daycare we were originally gonna go to, and they said they couldn't take care of him. So that's when we started looking around and found ChildServe.
ChildServe Medical Child Care Program is unlike any other in the state of Iowa. We provide child care for children with complex medical conditions who simply don't have a place to go for typical child care needs. We have nurses, physicians, rehab therapists, medical equipment technicians, and many others who provide loving care for kids who need that extra level of support. We also coordinate with their primary physician, with specialists and other community providers so that each child's needs are met in the best way possible.
Being a provider at ChildServe, we're able to be with families and children during their most vulnerable state. If you have any children, you understand how stressful it is bringing home a baby, but when you bring home a baby who has a trach and has a G-tube, just how overwhelming that is. So having medical childcare available to those families gives those families the opportunity to be able to work, to go out into the community and kind of go back to a sense of normalcy.
It allows parents to drop their child off in the morning before work and stay with us throughout the day so they don't have to remain in inpatient or in a hospital facility, and then they can go home and have that typical family nighttime routine.
Oliver had occupational therapy, physical therapy, and really speech therapy. And he had those different days during the week, but he had them at ChildServe. We didn't have to go and pick him up and drive him to all these appointments. It was really like a lifesaver to have it all in one spot for us.
It just allowed us to still be the parents that we want to be, still have the careers that we strived to have, and just have a good family life when we came home. It also gave us a lot of confidence to leave our kid who has these medical issues.
About a month after he started, he got something stuck in his trach, so he stopped breathing.
He was just kind of sitting in a chair, maybe around feeding time, and one of the teachers looked over and Oliver's lips had started turning blue. The nurses showed up, oxygen was provided. They did deep suctions to get him breathing again. We're so thankful of the staff and the training that they go through just to be able to do what they do in the day.
We're just so thankful that the nurses and the staff recognized it as quick as they did and got everything taken care of.
It could have been a different story for us that day, and because of them, it wasn't.
Come here, I got your bow. Come to mama. Good job.
I started working with Oliver when he was just out of the hospital. We worked on getting him to eat his food orally because Oliver got his nutrition via a G-tube in his stomach. We also worked on his communication. Because Oliver had a trach, he was unable to vocalize through his mouth. His vocalizations maybe started with screeching or screaming, but that was Oliver finding his voice.
Can you please use your inside voice?
And then from there, we would work on babbling and cooing up until we started to say real words.
Good job.
Mom might have been his first official word.
Say mama. Mama. Say dada.
We met back with the ENT and he goes, let's give it a couple more months, but I think this kid's gonna not need his trach too much longer. It was a surreal moment. Our days were constantly suctioning, G-tube feeding, cleaning everything. And then all of a sudden here, he's like, okay, now we're just done with it.
The day it happened, I don't know if he really knew the trach was coming out, but when we left the next day, he was running away from the hospital to the car.
Leaving the hospital.
In the hospital, though, he was chatting, he was talkative, almost like screaming, because I think he was just like, this is great, I can talk, I can make sounds.
Yeah.
Still had his G-tube at that point, and then we knew that he was gonna be tubeless by 2. Not only did he turn 2, but he was also tubeless.
We saw him from, with all the tubes to getting to graduate from medical child care with no tubes.
When he graduated ChildServe, they lined up in the hallway and clapped as we left, which is like, wow, it was very emotional too. Like, you're not sure you're ever gonna get that opportunity to have sort of like the regular day-to-day, and we were lucky we got that opportunity.
From the moment I met him, I knew he was going to do big things. I just knew he was going to get the trach out. I knew he was going to get the G-tube out. And bottom line, it's because he's a redhead. He's feisty.
It's a blast, running around with him. He's doing swim classes. He loves going swimming now. He's very energetic, loves to be outside, loves to go fishing, loves soccer.
Do I have it?
You got to reel it in to find out, bud.
Things that at first weren't sure we were going to be able to do, so it keeps us on our toes.
Getting to see him do just all these really fun, high energy, heavy breathing things, and he's just cruising along.
You have ran farther than Mom has.
It's amazing. He conquered the worst thing that happened to him super early on. Really just kind of reached for the stars at that point and, succeeded with all his goals, and now he's scoring goals.
Oliver would not be where he was today without the help of all those different professionals and everyone coming together, along with Bobby and Kelsey being the dream team at home. I was talking to him the other day and we asked Oliver, where did you used to eat? And he pointed to his tummy.
That's my feeding tube.
And I said, where did you used to breathe? And he went into his, sorry. He pointed to his throat.
Here. No, right here.
So it's just fantastic to see that growth.
He can accomplish whatever he wants. Sometimes you look back and you go, I don't know if I had any hope, and now here we are. Without the nurses and the staff, he wouldn't be here today.